Well, it is towards the end of autumn. The leaves are still coming down. I'm making compost like a madman. And this week, the doc from Neutrog, well, he's just sort of put his stethoscope down, taken off his lab coat, and he wants to give us some tips, some gardening tips for this autumn season. Huey, a very good morning to you.
Good morning, Graham. Yes, I was listening to your previous caller, and you've stolen most of my thunder, I think, for today. But anyway.
Oh well, okay, then we'll see you tomorrow. How can you help us this morning?
Well, as you mentioned, now winter is really only about 3 weeks away, and so there's still lots of autumn jobs to do. As you mentioned, the soil is cooling, and the microbes will slow down. But at the moment, there's still plenty of soil warmth. So it's really a great idea to start maybe thinking about getting your veggie patch ready for winter seedlings. If you're growing things like beetroot, which is one of my favourite, these root vegetables, they can take up to 3 months to grow if you're growing them from seed. So you won't be harvesting till August, which is quite late. So now is an ideal time to start thinking about establishing that winter veggie garden. And it's also a great time to get that compost into your garden bed if you've got plenty of that. And then, as you mentioned, rake up those autumn leaves and get them into your compost heap. And if your heap is really pumping and it's nice and warm, then those leaves will really break down in no time at all.
Yes, I've been watering ours with some go-go juice. In fact, I've got green grass, brown leaves, brown leaves, kitchen scraps, more go-go juice. My next-door neighbour, they've only been there a short while, and she said to me, "Are you taking our leaves?" I said, "Well, you're not doing anything with them. I'm making." She said, "You must have a very big compost bin." I said, "Walk up there any time." I said, "It's humming up there." And she said, "I saw a glow up there. You leave the lights on?" I said, "No, that's my compost heap." Things really certainly don't stop in autumn. It's a very busy time. So what are some of the other jobs on your list, Huey?
Well, it's probably one of your last opportunities to get your lawn ready for winter. So, first thing you need to think about is aerating your lawn. So you can do that with a garden fork. And at this time of the year, aeration is really essential because you don't want your lawn to get waterlogged in winter. And so aeration is now the best solution. And if you wait too long, you get saturated, you really can't aerate anymore. It just becomes a soggy mess. So aeration, it gets that air to the root zone, so it reduces rot, it allows your fertilizer down to the roots. But the most important thing about aeration is to avoid your watering system unless you like additional sprinklers.
Oh, yeah. And certainly with us, we got rain tonight, rain tomorrow. Brisbane's got more rain coming, so you got to turn the irrigation system off. So veggie patches and the lawn this weekend. What about fertilising?
Well, it's certainly, I fertilise this time of year. It's actually really beneficial before winter. A lot of those plants are still taking up nutrients before they enter that slower phase of activity. So I use a few handfuls of gigantic per square metre for my veggies. And for the lawn, as you mentioned, sudden impact for lawns, you really can't beat it. It's got that organic component. It's been infused with populate, so you get those beneficial microbes. And autumn is that ideal time because they love that warm, moist soil. And, I don't restrict the use to just my lawn. I use sudden impact for lawn on my deciduous trees, my conifers, my hedges, even my hanging fern garden. So it's a great all-around fertiliser for all non-flowering plants. And I almost forgot your citrus. That can certainly do with a feed as well. A few handfuls of gigantic won't hurt them now. No,
I mentioned that earlier in the show to one of my listeners who had an orange tree. Give it a bit of a feed because citrus really, if you want to get winter fruit, you can't sit around and just let them do their own thing. You've got to give them a bit of a boost. And certainly there's a lot to do during this autumn season before winter. And don't forget, gigantic and sudden impact for lawns. They're all available at Bunnings, other hardware outlets, and of course all good garden centres. Did you get my email during the week, mate?
No, I didn't. No.
I'm chasing the Phytophthora discussion that we had in your laboratory.
Oh yes, okay. I can send you some information on that.
Thank you.
Not a problem at all.
I know you changed your email address. I'll just double check it went to the right one, mate.
Yeah, my Neutrog one is still active. Obviously, my Neutrog one still works, so you can just use that one there.
Oh, okay, because I sent it to you because my arborist came in and he said, "Oh, that Chinese elm, it's okay, but it needs a bit of TLC." And I said, "Well, my mate Huey's got it in hand."
Not a problem. Just send it through to my Neutrog email, and then I'll get back to you ASAP.
Thanks, buddy. All the best to you. Thanks, Huey. Yeah,
cheers.
Some tips and tricks there for the autumn season. Let's go to Mount Riverview now.